Now we're getting some information, more information about the Prime Minister here. Let's talk to our political correspondent, Joe Pike, who is at Westminster. So some new information, I understand, about the Prime Minister and his condition.
That's right, Mark. Downing Street have released a statement in the last few minutes saying Boris Johnson is walking or doing short walks at least. This is the statement. The Prime Minister has been able to do short walks between periods of rest as part of the care he is receiving to aid his recovery. He has spoken to his doctors and thanks the whole clinical team for the incredible care he has received. His thoughts are with those affected by this terrible disease. Now, we understand that update is from St Thomas's. It's not something that Downing Street have written themselves, and therefore it's still unclear whether the Prime Minister has had direct contact with officials at number 10. No word yet on his discharge from St Thomas's, and no word, of course, on the length of his expected recovery. So we don't know quite when he'll be returning back to work, but certainly a positive sign that he is able to do short walks between periods of rest.
The feeling, that's obviously very good news. The feeling is that the recuperation period might be quite some time, as you say.
Yes, some medical experts have suggested for every day in intensive care, a patient should have a week's rest and recuperation. Now, Boris Johnson was in intensive care at St Thomas's for 3 days. That would obviously make 3 weeks. And what is clear is that the government's direction on its response to COVID-19 is already set pretty clearly. Almost certainly, the government will extend that 3-week lockdown period late next week, maybe for another 3 weeks. So actually, there isn't a great need for Boris Johnson to be at the heart of government making decisions every day. The key decision, Mark, is when to release that lockdown, when to lift that lockdown. That may not be made for another month. So he may have a long recuperation, perhaps in Chequers. Some have suggested that the official country residence is the place for him to recover, not in a flat above Downing Street, close to the nerve centre of the government's response. But no word yet quite on how long that recuperation will be.